Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Friday, December 6th, 2024. Before I get into my current events portion of this video and read, I want to just chat with you guys for a minute and let you know about a couple of things. Okay. I have been under some attack that is not physical in my personal life. Not really the professional. Think the hope was that it would impact my professional life. And it hasn't, and it won't. And I want to tell you guys, I am love and light, but if I have to kick a little ass, I will. And I mean, in a spiritual way. And I'm feeling a lot of feisty energy, if you can't already tell, since I used a word I don't usually use. I'm feeling a lot of feisty energy. And what happens? I don't bend, I don't break. I'm a survivor, and in a very quiet way, I'm a spiritual warrior. And so, in the process of dealing with the energy attacks that I've been under, um, I've had to get myself so strong, so resilient that it needs an outlet because, feisty energy can be transmuted, or you might say alchemized, into something positive. And I do that. So I've dealt with some really negative energy in the last interval of my life. And according to what I'm hearing, part of that's the Mercury retrograde. If you don't believe in astrology, you might want to just fast forward to see cards on the table. But I've been told that my personal chart means that this is going to kind of be the norm for me over the next few months, probably until early summer. And so I just want to go on record right now and just say, pack a lunch, bring it. I can deal with it. Not only can I deal with it, I can take that negative energy and transmute it and use it in this channel and any other area of my life where there's a need. So while normally I just send energy, and I did with this too, I sent it to my loving creator to be transmuted. But in the process of getting strong enough to do that and to be resilient enough to do that, like I said, we've got some feisty Laura energy we have to deal with here today. And we're going to do it with the tarot cards. Okay. I hope that makes sense to you because I know a lot of us, we try to be high vibration and love and light, but that doesn't mean that you can't feel some righteous anger, that you can't feel, oh, I got to be strong here. I got to push back a little bit. This is not right. This is a boundary that has been exceeded. And even if that's all internal dialogue, which most of mine was, it's just recognizing, no, this isn't right. I don't own this, that kind of thing. It leaves a little feisty residue. So I thought I'd come online here. And since I don't work with a script anyway, I'm just going to tell you honestly, without going into specifics, that I've been dealing with this. And I thought there's other people that are doing this, that are under attack, that are feeling negative energy directed towards them because they're waking up, or they're the one in the family that doesn't, listen to CNN or buy the narrative or what have you. And instead of getting depressed, get feisty. Get feisty, even if it's internal, and go, "Ooh, okay." And then, you know what? I don't know, start some seeds, or, start that exercise program you've been meaning to. I mean, channel it in a good way, but instead of letting it weigh you down, use it really positively. And that's what I'm doing with this energy. It made me super feisty. And I may need it in the months to come. If what I'm hearing is true, that this is an interval of challenges for me. What's the best way when something negative is trying to have an effect on you? Like I said, I just want to come on here and tell that negative energy in whatever form or however it would hear this, pack a lunch. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not going to get broken. Okay, so here's what I want to do today. It is Friday, December 6th, as I said at the start of the video, just in case I decide to cut all that out. I doubt I will. I let you guys just see me as I am. And tomorrow, our 47th president, or 19th, however you view him, President Trump, is going to be in France. And he is going to be the official reason, and the main reason we're being told that this trip to France is happening, is that the Notre Dame has been rebuilt from the devastating fire it had a few years ago. And there is talk in the alt media community that Notre Dame was not a place that was light filled in the past. And I'm hoping that that has changed moving forward. but we're going to get some insights from the universe about what's really going on with this trip or what additionally is going on with this trip besides the PR trip to stop at Notre Dame. Okay, let's go to a share screen I've got. It's going to take you to two tweets on my X account that I have posted on my page. So I'll have a link to my X account because YouTube does seem to allow that. And because I'm still in the naughty corner over at Facebook. But there's lots of ways around this. I can even put posts up on my Buy Me a Coffee channel and direct you there, but I didn't want people to think I was trying to get some kind of a gift. But I mean, that's an option too. They'll let me put links over there on that, and then we will get you directed where you need to go. But right now, I kept it simple for today because there were a couple of very excellent compilations and some dot connecting that was happening about this trip, recent tweets, and things that happened with the 17 team. So I'm going to take you to those two tweets. We're going to look at them briefly, and then, as I said, we're going to take a closer look using the tarot on what might be involved with this trip to France this weekend by President Trump. Okay, first up, we have the compilation here that talks about the December 2nd announcement by President Trump that he would be in Paris, France on Saturday to attend the reopening of the magnificent and historic Notre Dame Cathedral, which has been fully restored after a devastating fire 5 years ago. Then President Emmanuel Macron has done a wonderful job ensuring that Notre Dame has been restored. And if I need to be saying Notre Dame, excuse me, where I came from, it was Notre Dame, has been restored to a full level of glory and even more so. That's what makes me think there might be a hint that there's been some cleanup involved with Notre Dame. Okay, then there's some other posts here that are up on Truth Social. The same day, Mr. Trump said, I am pleased to announce that Warren A. Stevens, one of the most successful businessmen in the country, has been nominated to serve as a United States ambassador in the Court of St. James, a role in which he will act as our representative to the United Kingdom. So, a little talk about more on the other side of the pond here. Now, then the December 2nd is a delta of this 17 post, which talks specifically about treason, and another 17 posts that talked about treason and lists the same name that was in this tweet. So we got a December 2nd, December 2nd, December 2nd, and December 2nd. And then the December 2nd one listed treason and season of treason. And, we talk about the season of joy. So wondering if Macron's little, chat with Trump is going to have a little more to do with just great job you guys did on repairing that cathedral. I think there may be. Now, let's go up. There was. Okay. I'm going to stop the share there. I've got a second one I want to get to, but I'm going to have to find it and come back. So hang on, okay? Okay, I'm good to go here. Let's go back to that share screen. That first tweet that I was sharing with you was from an account by the name of Captain. And then another one I want to share with you is by one of the versions of the Enoch channel, Nickel. Do you believe in coincidence? Let's look at this a little closer because it also has some good correlations here. And it's a correlation with a Trump posting. We have a repeat of the one about the travel to France. We have that corresponding with this 17 post again about Vive la France or Vive la France. And Mr. T himself has put this up, Viva Las Vegas, on his Truth Social post. At first, I thought this was redundant, but it's actually from a post that Mr. T put up on December 2nd. So that was very interesting to me. All of a sudden, it stopped being redundant. And again, lots of talk about France, Viva, and then hints that there may be more going on with the story of the legendary Elvis Presley than we were told about originally. But that's a rabbit hole for another video. which I'm sure someone will watch this and get right on it. But and good if they do. That's fine. Okay. We can all look at information from different ways. Hopefully, we're getting it from the same source, which is, very loving and light filled. So it sounds like to me, now this is just the Laura's view part of this video. It sounds to me like there's more going on here than just the trip to Notre Dame and the emphasis on Viva, Viva la France, Viva Las Vegas, and um, that kind of thing tells me there might be more. I have a tarot reading friend who I've tried to get to come on the channel, but he doesn't want to be in the public eye at this point. By the name of Stephen, did a private read and shared it with me about France, and he got some interesting results. And so he didn't come at it from the 17 standpoint, but just simply just asking for insights and information. Which is when it gets down to it. Basically, what I'm going to do here, I do think there may be some very important political aspects to this upcoming trip, and we may get a nod to that with the read. But so we're just going to keep it general, let the universe give us the insights. So we would like additional insights and information about the upcoming trip to France, or the trip to France, just in case there's a time delay and it's already happening right now. The trip to France by the person seen in the public eye as Donald J. Trump. We'd like insights and information. And this is for the trip that was in conjunction with the reopening of Notre Dame. So I'm going to switch the camera. We'll let you watch me work with the cards. We'll find out what the universe wants us to know. Like I said, channeling that feisty energy into the cards. They are ready to work with us. Okay, we'd like insights and information, especially about the not well publicized aspects of this trip to France by the person seen in the public eye as Donald J. Trump, that is purportedly due to the reopening of Notre Dame. What else is going on? Let's find out. Okay. Oh, too bad I didn't have a yes or no element to this card. We got the Ace of Pentacles here. Page of Swords. Diplomacy definitely is kind of on the books. Let's see what type it is. We've got the another two of Cups. We've got the Chariot. So we've got a major arcana showing up for the current. We've got the Victory card of Six of Wands showing up for the near future. We have the Eight of Wands showing up again. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So let's talk about what these cards are telling us, the insights I'm getting, as well as the elements of the card that make me brave enough to say this on a recording. Okay, so the situation involved is the Ace of Pentacles, which is telling us that there's a potential for some really good outcomes here. Mr. T feels very, very good about what's happening, and there is a diplomacy aspect to this trip. Okay. Absolutely. So he feels really good about where he's going. And the diplomacy element is indicated here with the Page of Swords, which is about truth and diplomacy. And I think he's going to put down some hard truths. Okay. We have nothing here showing us at this point that this is justice directly related, the trip itself. It just seems to be like he is getting some prep work done to hit the ground running in January. Now, there's an agreement that is going to be renegotiated. If the agreement was in the past, and he's going to give them some notice that they're moving in a new way in this. Now, the main meaning of the Chariot card is triumph, and often we're seeing Trump, which has the same letters as that found in Triumph, connected here. So this is kind of cool. He's going to play the Trump card with Macron and whoever he meets, confidentially in this trip to France. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And in part of this, I'm going to say, okay, Steve, I'm seeing something that you saw. So very, very cool. Let's get into the near future of that, and I'll show you what and where it is. As I said, this is kind of a victory lap for him. We got the Six of Wands here. Okay, now Six of Wands is always a victory card, but notice the six. Okay. Then we have the Eight of Wands saying there's some big events. Insights are there's a lot of events that are going to really be kickstarted with this trip. It's not just about the cathedral. Absolutely. Now, here's one of them. If you know, the names of the G7 nations are Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom. Okay, plus the United States. That's the seven that make up the G7. The G7 is not expanding. The consortium of international alliances that is BRICS. Now, there's seven in the G7. Notice this. Last week, the person seen as Mr. Castro went to Mar-a-Lago, one of the G7. Then Mr. Trump is going to France, another G7 nation. I'm wondering if, he did that world tour back in, what was it, 2017? I'm wondering if he's doing a G7 tour. Okay. And I think what he might be saying, I think because he's putting America first, he doesn't want the dollar to die, even if the fiat element of it does. I think he is letting them know that the G7 could become the G6 if they don't play ball in the way that he wants. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do a read about will the US join BRICS because I don't see that publicly happening. But I do see Mr. Trump saying, we join BRICS, we join NATO, we join this, we can leave. And there's going to be some renegotiation. And remember, Mr. Trump is the art of the deal. So part of what's going on here is a come to Jesus moment about the G7 nations and the economic policies that are, held within them. So, and it has to do with the dollar. He being Mr. Trump, has publicly stated in the last week, he has resolved to have the dollar remain, the dominant currency. Now, he hasn't said anything about the fiat dollar remaining the dominant currency for trade and what have you. So I find it interesting. I see that the two aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. That the dollar can remain a viable entity and just stop being fiat dollars, but be asset-backed dollars. And so I think his endorsement of the dollar is that. But I also see that we've got the seven here. I'm ready to go, guys. I'm ready to leave the seven. Okay, so he's going to lay down some hard truths and some things that may not readily be apparent in the public eye. But yeah, very much a diplomatic element to this and a kick butt element. So I think that's why my feisty energy wanted to get channeled into this because Mr. T is kicking some butt and he is not taking names. Let's get a few more cards. Here's a justice card. So Mr. Macron, you know how those 17 posts talked about treason and Viva la France, it may be coming home to you. Then we have the Hermit card showing up here. We have another major arcana with the Fool, and we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, telling us ultimately, again, the dollar is part of the dollar and the economic state of the world is a big part of this upcoming trip. Let's back up here. We got Justice card and the Hermit. So Mr. T has some benevolent off-world and alliance, very strong alliance help with what's going on here. Okay. Now, I know I wasn't fully awake in 2017 when he made that first trip that I realize now was a kind of a victory lap. I thought it was a little cringy because that's how it was reported in the mainstream media. There may be some of that going on with the mainstream again, where they try to mislead us about what's going on, but he's very much in charge of this situation. He is going down to give them a come to Papa moment. Because our world is going places, and he wants people to be on a new path that is more free and sovereign. The King of Pentacles is a sovereignty card, so Mr. T is doing what he can, and it's going to be a heck of a lot to have some sovereignty return to the human race and the American people in conjunction with that, but not necessarily just America. So we've got some big global shifts and changes going on. And watch, guys, because there's 5 more G countries that he's going to rub elbows with if there's anything correct about this of him saying, you know what, the G7 could become the G6 if you guys don't play ball, and here's the ball I want played and how I want it played. So let's recap. Now, first of all, I have some newer viewers. A recap, you need to understand, isn't a recap of every single card from the read. It's the ones that strike me as being relevant enough to repeat the information about them. If you want to, that's why prior to this, I did the read, and you can go back and watch that. So if you are bothered that a recap might not include every single card from the read, that's not what a recap's all about. In fact, a really good recap, which I'm not great at, would be very succinct and already done by now. But we were curious about what's going on with President Trump's trip to France. It's reported that it's in conjunction with the reopening of Notre Dame after that devastating fire a few years ago. But there seems like there's more going on, and the universe certainly confirmed this. I mentioned early in the video that I'm feeling a lot of feisty energy, and I was channeling it. It's been alchemized, and I was channeling it into what I do here. And Mr. Trump's feeling feisty too. Let me tell you, he's ready to kick some butt also. Way, way more than I am. He's taken a lot of slings and arrows, guys. Okay, so we were curious, was there more going on? We got a yes that way, but I didn't specifically ask for a yes, just kind of confirmation that Mr. Trump feels really positive about that there's going to be some good outcomes to this trip and a possibility for some happiness that is going to extend from this. And remember, pentacles are our tangible elements. They're gold, silver, real estate, things like that, that we're ready to move into some less economically strenuous times. Okay? That isn't the purpose I'm getting at this visit, but it's going to be one of the results of the visit. Page of Swords, diplomatic and truth. So he's going to be laying down some hard truths when he meets in private with Macron and others. I do feel like there will be others at the meetings there. Who and where they fly in from, I don't know. Don't claim to know, but I know that Macron's going to be hearing some stuff he's not really going to be happy to hear. The and again, before you tell me, I know there's every possibility that Macron is also a 2.0 at this time, but at some point they're going to have to close these loops and storylines and get the reality match what's happened in the background. So I didn't go there. You know, I just asked about France. I didn't ask about Macron specifically, and let the universe give us some information. Okay, there's going to be some agreements that this is a recent past one, that there's been some agreements made with France, and those are back on the table. Or maybe they're going to leave the table entirely, but that's part of the purpose here. When he flies over, he is planning to discuss some agreements. Now, I was kind of curious about what those agreements might be. The triumph card here, again, this tells me this was the current card. This tells me Trump is feeling triumph, like I am ready to go and get her done now. Okay. And if I was any doubtful, and I wasn't, because everything's been so positive, the victory card for the near future so his trip is going to be successful. Now, look here, we have a 6 for this. Okay. The 6 of Wands is a card of victory. Now, one of our insight cards was the 7 of Pentacles. And I mentioned my friend Steve, he had done a read saying that maybe one of the things that he thinks Trump may be talking about is we have a number of transatlantic agreements, whether it is NATO or, WEF or what have you, but one of those is G7. And the G7 nations, one of those is the United States, and one of those is France, and another one's Canada. So we notice that he's meeting with people from these G7 countries, it seems like, which still leaves, let's see, means he's going to be rubbing elbows with Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom, if what the cards are telling me is true. And what those cards might be saying to us is that he is saying, he's had a resolve that the dollar will, even if it evolves, I think, remain a viable and world currency. And I think he's ready to say, hey, you want me to stay? Here's what we're doing. So the G7 countries, I think one of the trump cards he's playing is the G7 could become the G6 if certain outcomes and expectations aren't realized. Time will tell. Now, I'm not saying we will leave. I'm just saying might say he's ready to. Okay? And there is another organization, there is BRICS, he might be saying, hey, I'll just go with them. Their currency's asset backed and they've got people vying to enter them. And we've been 7 countries for forever. And we are diminishing amount of the product of the world, the economic product. And so I think he's going to give them some things to think about. Okay, the Justice card showed up, so naughty, naughty Macron. I think you're going to be facing some potential outcomes, and there is a lot of support for what is getting arranged here. This support comes from an international alliance, and the alliance is also composed, if you believe like I do, of some benevolent off-world energy that says, human race needs to get things fixed and it isn't totally their fault that it's not. And we're going to give you guys a a lift. You know, help empower us to be what we should be, could have been, should have been, had a chance to be. We're going to get a chance, and we don't want to blow it. We want to reach our full potential. So, if you, like me, appreciate the help we're getting, that is so loving and so benevolent for the human race that we didn't just get, started over. Scratch that plan, let's go again. Say thank you because there's a lot of energy that has gone into giving us this chance. And part of that chance is the trip that Trump is making. The trip that he's making and some of the truths he's going to be speaking, and the things he's going to be, the truths he's going to be laying down. Like I said, I was feeling a little feisty, and I'm getting it that Mr. Trump is way more feisty than I will ever be. And this is going to be some interesting dialogue between he and other leaders, even if it doesn't happen on camera, you know, for the public recording. So, but it's going to be a very successful trip. It is not just about the cathedral, and there's going to be some hard truths laid down. And where it's not a global victory lap like it was in 2000, what was it, 17? But it looks like he's given them some things to think about. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. I appreciate your patience while I shared things at the start and didn't just jump in on current events. Uh, but again, I also felt like it's very important for people to know, it's not about being love and light. We have to deal with a wide spectrum of emotions and energies, and how we deal with them is important too. Ultimately, what we deal with them is light filled, but we might have to be very resilient and very even forceful in saying, screw this. This energy is going to be used for this, or I'm not having anything to do with it. And that's what I've had to do, and I'll do it again if I need to. Okay? So, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light. I wish for you everything bright. And if you need to kick a little astral ass, go ahead and do it, guys. Okay? All right. Because we are going to reach our potential. Okay? And we're going to do it with a smile on our face, love in our heart, and the occasional ass kicking when needed. Until next time, I send you all those things if you're willing to receive them, and send you my love as well. Bye.